I must say I've never seen a Tinubu speak in this magnitude.
How much?
Because from this statement of his,
aspect of the security, it might be necessary instead of all this civilian, this method of this, JTV, civilian, that, and I have to create state police. Well, looking at that holistically, when we defeat security, it will be effective. We must protect our children, our people, and our livelihood, and places of worship and places of recreation. They can't intimidate us. On one hand, the forest guard is being empowered, and we empower them effectively. We put that, we defeat the fear of politicization by political differences that has prevented establishment of the state community policing in the past.
Talking about how they hope to strengthen local security arrangements, I must say that it's a welcome development. And that is where I encourage every patriotic Nigerian to throw their weight behind effort of federal government to get rid of every bandit out of every inch of Nigerian territorial integrity. I continue maintaining, and I've maintained it repeatedly, that the best the government of Nigeria can do under this circumstance is to go ahead to acquire monopoly of coercive power and smoke the bandits out of their holes, set them running, and bring them to justice. Because for me, the whole essence of law and order, the whole essence of prosecution is to act as a deterrent to others. I must say the current situation where the likes of Sheikh Gumi continue meeting with governments, continue advocating for amnesty on behalf of bandits, continue asking government to stop using kinetic approach against the bandits is unacceptable. From what is happening, I must say that the President, Senator Bola Tinubu, have taken a bold step in so many areas. Because do not forget that we have already seen this government of Tinubu recently placing order for 50 fighter jets. And anytime soon, the country will take delivery of it. I must say that the bandits, the terrorists, the likes of Toji Bello, the likes of Adaleru, will very soon hear from federal government. We very soon hear from the armed forces. We very soon hear from, of course, the Air Force. In a language they best understand. And what is that language? Language of force. Language of decimating them. Language of bombarding them. Language of course, disaliving them and sending them to their creator for judgment. Because I'm saying this particularly because it is unacceptable where you see people who have no value for human life coming to even approach government for peace. What kind of peace? Because recently we understand that even the likes of Toji Bello was saying that he's ready to negotiate with government. I must say that that negotiation is unacceptable. Even if he decides to surrender, it should be prosecuted. It should be prosecuted because if you allow him to go unpunished, what is certain, it means what it implies is that the life of those Nigerians who die in his hands do not have value. Even the soldiers, the military personnel who are there in his hands, it means it does not have value. And this is somebody who even celebrated burning down Nigerian military vehicle that the government used so much money to, of course, procure. So it is very clear that Nigerian government should not in any way think of negotiating with Toji Bello, Adaleru, or any bandit leader for that matter. What makes the government ultimate in every world over is the ability to acquire monopoly of coercive power. I think that is what America has. That is what the best countries of the world like Russia has. I remember sometime 4 or 5 years ago, where a 27-year-old Philip Wanton, an American citizen, was kidnapped, taken to Sokoto State from Niger. How American Naval Seas came here to rescue it on hot. That is capacity. I think we should be thinking in that direction. And It's even when American government under the first tenure of Donald Trump, we go to Iraq to take out a Soleimani, an Iranian military diplomat, and it was a successful operation. That is competence. I'm not saying we should have gotten there, but if not for anything, by now, let us try to acquire monopoly of coercive power. And I think the government is already thinking that direction. But again, another thing that gladdens my heart is the position of the current Director General of DSS, talking about Ajayi, who have said that the communities should be empowered to be the first line of defense in case of invasion of bandits. I want to believe that that may have in any way shaped the mind of the president, who recently endorsed state police and who recently gave nod to state police creation, and who have equally said that he is strengthening forest guard. I think this is a shift, not just a shift, a good one, from the way a Buhari government handle insurgency, handle terrorism, from the way a Tinubu is handling it. Maybe perhaps a Tinubu is learning from what happened to Jonathan. Because under Jonathan, it was very clear that they not use insecurity to remove him from office. Little did you know that even the Fulani Militias we see currently today was brought in from neighboring African countries specifically to remove Jonathan from office. I say this confidently because someone like Kau Baraje have made this assertion that they brought in Fulani Militias to remove Jonathan from office. And I think this is what Tinubu want to guard against, because those elements who drafted the Fulani Militias into the country to change government is at it again. Because seeing this part of increase in kidnapping, in sacking communities, and all of that, you must know that they want to make a statement, and that statement is to demarcate the government, to create the pressure that the federal government under Tinubu do not have the capacity to protect lives and property, to pave way to market another candidate. I must say that the Tinubu himself has seen the handwriting on the wall, seen bold moves for his government, talking about the 50 fighter jets that will be coming very soon, talking about the state police initiative, talking about the forest guard initiative. I think it's a welcome development, particularly because it has been established that all crime is local. And that if all crime is local, that the locals have the best intelligence, of course, actionable ones, to deal with such issue or other issues. So from what I'm seeing, very soon, the country, Nigerians, will continue heaving sigh of relief. Because we continue seeing success upon success from locals. It started from Delta State, Abraka to be precise, where the locals synergized with the police and decimated bandits, arrested a handful of them. We have equally seen what happened in Owachiku. Apart from what happened in Owachiku, we have equally seen a local person from Delta State, somebody who has passion for community work, leading the military into the bushes, into the forest, to even confront bandits. Ransom were recovered, bandits disalived, and some of them arrested. I must say it's a welcome development. We cannot say this without mentioning the successes recorded by locals from Kwara State, who even recently had a major breakthrough where a handful of terrorists, bandits, were arrested in, of course, in the same Kwara State. But again, you know, because under Muhammadu Buhari, it took so much effort for the government of Buhari to accept, to label a terrorist organization as terrorist organization. So the lackadaisical attitude, the lukewarmness with which the Buhari government handle insurgency is questionable. Because for me, I think it led Christian to some school of thought that believe that because those people who perpetrate, who do this banditry are from the same ethnic extraction with him. Because you begin to wonder, how could, though this one is in the realm of allegation, but even if you say it's in the realm of allegation, it was all over the whole media that a Buhari's government paid Metiala about 100 billion naira to stem the tide of insecurity in the country. Even though the then government denied it, even Metiala denied it, but it was all over the media, and there were news regarding this, that rented the whole, that went around the whole media. So for me, I must say that this new shift that this government is following, this new trajectory is a welcome development. Because for me, life is sacrosanct. And if life is sacrosanct, the government must do everything within its power to protect lives and property. Because it is a responsibility that's incumbent in the office of the president, the office of the local government chairman, the office of the governors, having sworn to an oath in their respective capacities to protect lives and property. Because the constitution is very clear. Section 14, subsection 2B of 1999 Constitution as amended says that the welfare of the people and their security shall be the primary purpose of governance. So I must say that the governors have no excuse not to protect lives and property. Even Mr. President, we are not ready to accept excuse, though I like what he's doing currently. But again, a situation where the governors just go by the name of the governors and the chief security officer of their respective state without correspondence security power physically, I must say is unacceptable. That is where I say we must reject our laws to empower or rather to give the governors some level of physical security powers. Because I remember that the former governor of Plateau State, Jonah Jang, was emphatic when he said that as a governor then, that he did not command a fly. I think the reason is not far-fetched. But as a governor, he could clearly see that he did not command and control the commissioner of police in his state. The director of DSS in his state did not command and control him or her. Then the military formation in his state is not under his purview. That even reminds me, Wike as a governor of Rivers State was quoted to have said that he is the chief logistic officer of the state, not the chief security officer of the state, in a particular instance where he was addressed as the chief security officer of the state. Not that he's under any illusion about his responsibility as the chief security officer of the state, because he's himself a lawyer. But he was saying it because he could clearly see that the constitution do not give him the role to play in terms of the chain of command and control of security architecture in his state. So that is to say that we must reject the security architecture. But again, at some point, we must even look beyond what we have currently and look at how can we even have a people's-oriented constitution. Because I must say that the issues that gave rise to Aburi Accord is still with us even currently. And all the problem Aburi Accord solved are still plaguing us today. And unfortunately, when Nigerian leaders gather in Accra, in Aburi, in Ghana, for that conversation and arrive at those compromise, at that conclusion, it was reached that they were going to have a confederation and that police was going to be decentralized, military was going to be decentralized. Unfortunately, they came back from Aburi, Gowon denied everything, and we are now back to all those problems that Aburi Accord sought to solve. So I'm saying that we must have a people's-oriented constitution, yes. Because those who currently benefit from the current fraudulent status quo of Nigeria will always rise to object, to oppose every move to reject the current fraudulent status quo. According to question the rationale behind the creation of states, the composition of states in Nigeria, that is lopsided. There is no justification behind saying that the southeastern part of the country is having just 5 states, as against 6 in every other geographical zones. I think in a particular geographical zone, we have 7. I must say it's unacceptable. Then we need to ask, how come the North have 19 states as against the 17 in the South? And this number they have, I must say, is an undue advantage because it was the military that used decree to create the states. And this number they continue to use to have their way in National Assembly. And each time we talk about constitutional amendment, each time we talk about the security system, we talk about having things to work in a normal way, they will always refer you to go and do it in National Assembly, knowing that they already have the number in the National Assembly. And the number they have in the National Assembly was given to them by virtue of the fact that almost all the military government, military head of state in Nigeria came from the north, because they were taking turns, like people who were in a relay race to change government from Abacha, from IBB to Abacha and co. So how can you justify a situation where Lagos is perhaps the most populated city, not just in Nigeria, in the whole of Africa? How can Lagos be having just 25 local governments recognized by the law, Federal Republic of Nigeria? Yet only Kano is having 44 local governments. Even Jigawa, that is carved out of Kano State, is having 27 local governments. So we are now talking about 71 local governments. And these are people, region, who do not bring any meaningful thing to the table, to the federal coffer. I say confidently because I had a first-hand experience from Jigawa State, where I did my youth service.
You'll be very, very lucky.
Of course, in our days, if you are posted to Jigawa State and you are posted to local government, they say Baiki means literally no work. And what happens in the local government secretariat is that there is nobody, people do not come for business of the day. People do not resume work. All the workers from first day of the month to the last day of the month, you don't see them. They only show up once allocation comes. By the time they share the allocation at the end of the month, they all decide the local government secretariat. They wait for another end of month. So it's a monthly ritual. Even the local government chairman find his way in Kano, only show up at the end of the month. That is why they always rise and resist every attempt to reject the sharing formula of revenue. We understand that even recently, the government of Tinubu tried to make some changes in terms of tax reform bills, and the whole essence was to ensure that areas where you derive revenue, areas where they consume more, is adequately compensated, and that in a way would have encouraged other areas to start bringing more to the table. We had a situation where northern stakeholders, northern region resisted it, and their major position is that the federal government wanted to deplete their revenue base. You begin to ask, what revenue base? What are you bringing to the table that you're talking about revenue base? So I think I encourage even the government of Tinubu to revisit that tax reform base, because even the one the National Assembly passed recently that the president assented to have been watered down by the same northern leaders.
An institution.
Because through their number in National Assembly, they have expunged all the areas they felt was offensive to them, because according to them, it was trying to take away their taxes. Sorry, trying to take away their revenue.
Both in thinking,
but as we have it,
and
the bill have been passed into law, hence the president have assented to it. But the question is, the version the president assented to have been watered down.
then you are.
But at this point, I must say very thank you for your time. This is Mr.